Fearscape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time.
There are phenomena that exist all around us.
Kids playing above something,
and above something unknown flies over and disappears. People driving at night, seeing huge creatures cross the road. People waking up to find their cabinet doors ripped open in their kitchen.
Strange things
happen every day around the world and seemingly at the same time and area. But are these occurrences connected? This is what we are here to explore and are trying to understand.
Join us on our journey
to uncover what we call the Convergence Enigma. Every Wednesday on the Fearscape Media Network.
Ghosts in the Attics, Bodies in the Basements may contain graphic, violent, vulgar, or explicit content not suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Disclaimer, listeners. In this episode, we have really bad ADHD, and so if you want to skip right to the topic, fast forward about 20 minutes.
28 minutes.
Depends on editing. 25, 20, 27, somewhere in there. Fast forward until we start talking about South Dakota.
Yeah. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Ghosts in the Attics, Bodies in the Basement. I'm Anna.
And I'm Lindsey, and we are back for another Fucked Up and Frightful. Did I get the name right?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally right in front of me, and I probably would have said it the opposite way, so there's
As soon as I started saying it, I realized I didn't write it anywhere, and I was like, just go for it.
And in case you're wondering what our very special episode is about today, we are covering South Dakota. The murders and the mystery. What?
The hauntings.
So, the hauntings, yes. So, I will give you this up front. I'm covering shallow dives into 3 different little true crime cases. I don't know what Lindsey's up to. We haven't talked about it because we wanted it to be a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be pissed at me because I didn't do like one giant case, because South Dakota has a lot of options, and
I was about to say, we were concerned.
I could not pick.
Yeah, so I think we said it on the episode when we pulled it that we didn't know of anything that was specifically South Dakota.
I mean, if you want to be real, there's a lot of shit everywhere that you just don't hear.
Oh yeah, that's what I always try to explain to people, because like I've lived in a couple of places now.
Right.
Where like horrible things have happened. Like y'all heard the episode about the Aurora movie theater shooting when we lived in Aurora.
I mean, and we also lived in Colorado where John Bonet happened, and Columbine, and like the Aurora shooting, and like
right. And so people are always like,
I'm from Oklahoma, and that's where the Timothy McVeigh bombed the memorial building. So it's like a lot of shit's happened.
It can happen anywhere, is what it all boils down to. It doesn't matter where you live. I lived in a nice HOA neighborhood in a different part of Texas, and there was a murder-suicide there. Like, shit happens everywhere.
Also,
so, no surprise that South Dakota has a lot, I guess.
I have a friend, and, like, legit, I texted her the other day. I was like, hey, what's up? And she was like, oh, just life's fucking stupid. And I was like, okay, why? Because, like, why? Why is it stupid today?
Right, yeah.
And their house got hit along with 21 other people in their, like, surrounding neighborhoods. Their vehicles were all vandalized. Things were stolen out of their vehicles. And the cops in that area were just like, meh. And I'm not going to say names because it's entirely too easy to pinpoint who the fuck I'm talking about. But if you know, you know. But it's just one of those things like
awful.
22 fucking households, multiple damages inside each household. And the cops are like, meh.
That's happened to us before when we lived somewhere else. And we had people literally peeping in our windows with a flashlight with us sitting there at our dining room table. So we called the police and they showed up at the house and they were like, well, do you know anybody who would have it out for you? We're like, no. And then they were just like, you live in this part of town.
Well, it doesn't matter where you live.
That was years
Crazy
and years
people
ago.
are everywhere.
That was not my current location.
I mean, it's just one of those things like life is fucked up and frightful, which is why we do this series.
Yes, because we get it. We've been there personally.
Right. And even if we haven't, we can relate because, I mean, we understand trauma. So today, something kind of really fucking interesting happened while I was at work.
Really?
And yeah, well, I mean, you know about this, but they don't. So we got a message from one of our podcast owners, Josh.
Oh, I was like, what do I know? I do know this.
I would hope so. You're on the thread.
Yes.
He went to this website. If I click it, does it tell me? No. Okay.
Just to backpedal, because I kind of talked over you because I was confused. This is Josh from Fearscape Media Network / the Convergence Enigma. I can never say it.
He hosts with Stefan. Hey, Stefan, what's up?
Hey,
when you gonna come on the show? Either one of you, we would love to have you.
Or both of you.
Today he just sent us like a screenshot. And it says Ghosts in the Attic, Bodies in the Basement. Listener score 23, global rank top 10%. And Lindsey goes, what does this mean? Because legit, like, what does this mean?
Right. It's like, what
and
are you
he goes,
sending me?
out of 3 million podcasts that listen on listener notes, that this is a website, and they monitor things, you're in the top 10%.
Out of 3 million podcasts. What is
and I was like, that's insane. Liz said, oh my God, what? And then he broke it down even further. And
that's in the 300,000s.
What?
Look, 10% of 3 million is 300,000. And yes, I'd use a calculator for that. Don't judge me.
I mean, I would have to use more than a calculator. I've had one, and my brain doesn't work that way. He said listener score is a metric that shows the estimated popularity of this podcast, compared to other RSS-based public podcasts in the world on a scale from 0 to 100. The higher, the more popular. Calculated from first and third-party data. Updated monthly. I was like, oh, wait, so we don't suck?
Right.
And he just did like a laughing, and then Lindsay's like, 23 is everywhere. Because 23 Enigma. But, I mean, I know that, like, we have new countries and provinces and stuff, like, all the time. Where we literally don't know people.
Right.
But, and hear me out, I don't know any of you. I know Lindsay.
I know, like, a couple of people who tell me they listen.
But do they really? Or are they just being nice? I don't know. It just...
Brittany, we know you listen.
Brittany, we know you listen for sure.
Brittany's our one person.
She's been on the show, so of course she listens. But beyond that, I'm just like, are we just talking into the void? You know? But it's really cool to like be...
It makes it more tangible.
Told. Yeah, it does. It's nice to be told that like, hey, you're doing a good job, but also terrifying that they're checking up on us.
But speaking of like our audience... Y'all know we like to talk about the analytics. We know you all don't care, but we find it extremely interesting. And a couple of things I've noticed the last couple of weeks. For one, we have multiple new countries, regions, whatever, listening. And they are Gibraltar, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. Hello.
And by the way, that's just without clicking on the individual places
to see,
because it
like,
breaks down per regions and provinces and stuff. It's really cool.
Right. And then also, you all know I did like a whole little mini episode about the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And how like they were taking over Canada and like how I was like, they're neck and neck, and who's gonna win? And the Netherlands won at 3% outside
and they
of the
stayed
US.
there for a while.
But guess what, guys? Guess what? Now Canada's back on top, but now Canada and the Netherlands are both 2% with the UK, Brazil, and Germany. So y'all gotta fight it out and see who's gonna win.
Hunger Games.
Let's do it. Also,
but
I am
it's so
shocked within
exciting.
the United States. It's always been Kentucky, Oklahoma, Texas. Because
Yeah.
I'm originally from Kentucky, Anna's in Oklahoma, and I'm in Texas.
Right.
California now beats Texas.
Aw, Kayla, are you listening?
Well, we know it's going to be Kelsey, too, from Fairy Tale
Right.
Fix.
Yes, Kelsey. Hello.
And we have listeners in
Speaking
Los
of-
Angeles, so we know movie stars are listening to us.
I would love to. I mean, if I could pick one, his name is Kevin Smith, but I will digress heavily on that. Speaking of Fairy Tale Fix, we'd love to give them a little shout out. They were on hiatus for the summer, and they just came back August 1st with their newest episode. It's out now, and when we drop our episode, which you're listening to at the moment, I think it comes out the Wednesday before our episode comes out on Friday. So when you listen to us, go back and listen to the last 2 episodes that they put out because they are fucking phenomenal and we love them deeply.
They popped up on my For You page on TikTok earlier. And
They did,
so
yeah.
happy.
And it was like,
because it was
so
just like
cute.
suddenly there, like as soon as I opened the app, and I was like, I know them. It's my friends.
Yeah, exactly. And like I saw it and like their clip was so funny because it was like, call me daddy. And I was like, wait, what?
Right? I commented, hey, daddy-o. Because it was, I haven't listened to the episode, so I don't know the whole story, but the guy
No,
was
I
just like,
haven't listened
daddy,
either.
no. Like,
Yeah.
it was funny. You all should
It's
go
good
follow them on
times.
TikTok.
They are hysterical. And by the way, with any podcast, you should be cringed out like the rest of us and start at episode 1 and work your way up.
We get
But
better, we promise.
We do. With age and wine and podcasts, everything gets better with time. So,
Hey.
but
Oh, speaking of like shouting out social medias and stuff, this is just like a side bit. Cause like I was telling you before we started recording about my headset being messed up. My 4-year-old messed up my
yes.
headset, y'all.
Mhm.
Cause she's stuck on my computer, and I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, and took off running, and my headset went flying. So now it's all messed up. But so my friend Dani, shout out Dani, she just started streaming on Twitch, and
What?
I'll have to get her username so you all can go follow her on Twitch. I was with her earlier on Fortnite. But anyways, I digress. She sent me a picture of her microphone, and
Okay.
it lights
Is
up.
it rainbow?
No, but it has like a light where if she mutes her mic, it does a little frowny face. And if it's on, it does a little smiley face.
Okay, well now
And I'm like, I need a new microphone now, obviously. It's like, no, I really need a new headset probably.
legitimately, I want one now.
Can you see that?
How cute! Oh, that's adorable.
I am obsessed with it. I love it. I want it.
I mean, but like, does it get good sound? Because that's what really matters.
I mean, I'm listening to her on the headset, like in game versus like on Twitch. So
Right.
assuming
you
it's
can
the
hear her
same
well.
mic,
Yeah,
it's good.
that's
yeah.
what matters. Is like,
But
if it does cool shit and it sounds really nicely, then I might have to
Where's my
change my
Twitch app?
microphone. For
Where's my
those
Twitch
of you,
app?
I don't know, where is it on your phone?
oh, right here.
Oh, speaking of phones, okay, so I got a new number like 2.5 months ago because I switched jobs. Yeah, I did that. And my last number was tied to my old job. It was like a whole fucking thing. They gave me money for it. It's whatever. They don't do that anymore, so of course your girl got a new phone number. So I'm just chilling yesterday, and I'm not doing anything with my phone. It's just sitting there. And it goes, bling! So I look at it, and I have a horrid migraine, so I'm like, why are you talking to me, phone? Leave me alone. It goes, is this your phone number? And it said my old phone number on Google Duo, which is the way that me and Lindsey communicate frequently, primarily. And I go, the fuck, I updated this as soon as I got my number because that's what I talk to somebody on literally all the time.
Right.
I was like, no. So what did it do? It deleted the fucking app from my phone. And I had to re-download it. And it goes,
That's why I got a notification that said Anna's on Duo.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I know. I talk to her all the time.
I did this 2 months ago. Why? And so it freaked out, deleted the app, made me put in my new number like it was a brand new thing that I haven't been doing for the last 2.5 months with this phone number. And then it goes, here's your verification code. Do you want to make any phone calls? And I was like, the fuck? So I had to search for Lindsey to make sure that that was still an option because I heard what?
There you go.
Google was getting rid of Google.
It's making Duo and Meets like the same
and
app.
Google Meets and Google Hangouts. They're all like being merged into one like super Google bullshit. So I don't know, nor do I care.
Google fashion.
But it really upset me because like I wasn't even trying to call anybody.
Right.
And then it was like, this is your number. And I was like, no, it's not.
I wondered why I got a notification that you were on there like it was brand new because it was like randomly tell you.
Because it straight up deleted my app from my phone without my permission and consent, which was annoying.
I'm going to say this before I forget. On Twitch, Dani is Dani the Targaryen, like Game of Thrones Targaryen. Dani the Targaryen. So go follow her on Twitch, and maybe you'll see me on there and hear how embarrassing I am because I kept doing silly shit, forgot she was streaming. And I was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, you don't have to apologize. I was like, I keep forgetting you're streaming.
That's hilarious. Oh, it's nice. The kids are back in school. Hey-o. My kid got a good teacher this year instead of last year. Yeah, and if you listen last year's teacher, you should know you sucked. And if you don't listen, anyone who does listen and wants to tell her, she sucked. I'm not going to say her name, but you know who you are. I digress. Kids are back in school, and the new teacher does not believe in homework, so I'm really excited.
I don't either. I wish that was my kids' teachers. Although, so far...
You send them to kid prison, school, all day, every day. So it's like, what, 8 or 9 hours they're not in your possession. Someone else is, like, mentoring them. And then they're like, oh, yay, I'm done. Just kidding. I got, like, 6 more hours of shit to do. And they're in kindergarten. It's not fair.
Oh, last year, my youngest, who, if you all remember, was 3 last school year, was coming home with homework. And, like, it's mostly, like,
and she only did a half a day.
Yeah, she only did half a day. So far, nothing this year for any of the kids other than the middle one had, like, homework over the weekend, but it was just work she didn't get finished in class. And, like, that's fair.
That's how it will be for Landon. So, like,
I hope it stays that way.
His teacher said if you screw up on your paperworks and you get, like, a 75 or below, you can retry one time to get a better grade. Cool. If it's a test and you suck, you should have studied. I feel that. Also, there will be homework assigned if there are bigger projects like a science fair, a book report, crap like that.
That makes sense.
But for the rest of it, she thinks children should be children and have freedom and activities or time for freedom and activities if they would like.
Absolutely.
So if you don't finish it in class, you finish it, I have the hiccups, at home. And if you don't finish it at all, you have the chance to make it up. And then if you don't make it up, then you're just, screwed. But the fact that she's nice is great. Because this little boy that my son's friends with, he goes, man, his teacher was just okay apparently the first day. And by the third day, he was complaining that he wanted my teacher. And I was like, why? Because, why? Why does his teacher suck? Well, apparently she's really strict and doesn't put up with any crap. And I was like, sir, that's every teacher. You should just assume
Teachers
that's
put
every
up with
teacher.
Too much.
I was like, y'all are like 30-1 in that classroom. Be nice. Don't pull some shit. Be
Teachers
nice.
put up with too much crap to take.
They don't get paid enough to put up with your bullshit. So be good.
But speaking, go on.
Okay. I'm just saying I got lucky and he didn't. I was like, I'm just saying you won't stay lucky if you act like a fool.
Right. So my oldest started middle school this year and she's joining orchestra. I know, right? And first of all, I was a band kid, but my school was not cool enough to have orchestra. Anyways.
Yeah, my school, you could join the college orchestra if you had like high enough grades and like performed high enough in band or some shit.
Oh.
Yeah,
we just had band.
Cool,
we had like woodwind ensemble, which I did like in high school.
Yeah.
But we didn't have no orchestra in 6th grade. But so she's been really excited. She got approved to be a violin player, which is what she was wanting to be. So that's exciting. But then, so she's been coming home like super excited, and she told me this morning she thought they might get to play the instruments today for the first time. And so she comes running up to the car after school, and she's like all smiles. I'm like, oh, I'm ready to hear about it. And I was like, how was school today? She's like, the day was good, but I overheard some drama that I'm glad I'm not a part of. So she was excited to come and spill the tea to me. I mean, about everything.
Straight up facts. Yeah, like I can't say where I heard or what I heard, but the other day I heard some juicy goss and I was like, how is this my life? I'm determined that my face says, tell me your secrets. Right. And I don't know why, but people do.
My entire
all the time. It's weird and I'm here for it sometimes. Sometimes it's like, please don't. That may be illegal. Awkward. Don't tell me things. I don't need to know. I'll be an accomplice. But outside of that, like, yeah, okay, who did what? Betty Sue did what now? What a bitch. Tell me more.
Right. And what's even funnier about it is that this morning, I even texted you about it this morning. This morning, my For You page on TikTok was just all the drama, but it wasn't like the videos that sparked the drama. It was all people addressing the drama. And I'm like, I don't know anything you're talking about, but like, tell me more.
Yes.
And it was like witch talk drama, autism community drama. I don't know what this drama was, right, but it was like, girl, we could have been friends, but you blocked me. Like, it was like all the sides of TikTok drama. And I was like, I don't know any of you, but I want to know more.
Tell me your secrets.
So it was pretty funny that like TikTok was showing me all the drama, and then she comes home telling me the drama that she overheard, which by the way, the drama was that she overheard this girl talking on the phone, talking about how, well, I was spreading rumors, and then she went and snitched on me to the principal.
Okay, first of all, why do you have a phone at school? Why do you have your phone at school? You're like little. And
it was after school hours, like while they were waiting for the bus.
I don't think you should take really expensive shit to school because it could get broken or stolen, but that's just me. But that's hilarious. Before we get into the actual fucking episode, sorry,
we have a theme on this podcast.
Yeah, my medicines were straight the fuck off.
I've been having a really bad ADHD week with my self-diagnosed ADHD. Last week was all hyper focus, and this week is the opposite. This week's the attention deficit, and I cannot focus on a damn thing. I keep setting goals for myself, and I can't focus on anything.
So we got South Dakota for today, but
are we drawing the name out of the jar?
Yeah, we're jarring it up. My hand got stuck. The next place we will be covering will be... I was just about to do that. Thank you. If I can get this fucking Post-it note.
I have no idea how to come through in the audio.
Ready, set? There. Just in case it didn't ever... Singapore!
Singapore!
Yeah, hey-o.
Our first out-of-country one.
Yes. Is it? Yeah, because it was New Jersey, South Dakota... Missouri and
there was another.
Missouri, New Jersey,
South Dakota.
Now Singapore.
Hey,
that's exciting. I don't know jack shit about other places because I don't know anything about where I live. Like I'll get on the Facebook groups and like people will be like, "Oh my god, what's going on by 177?" I'm like, "I don't know what's going on over there. You tell me." And then I'll like read like the 150 Facebook comments for them to be like, they're trying to tell you about your car's extended warranty. And I'm like, y'all are fucking a mess. So, I digress. Singapore will be our next F&F. But today, do you want to start with... Yeah.
I have, like a segue? Is that the right word?
I don't know, maybe.
Singapore is part of Malaysia, right?
I don't know. I'm not looking at a map. Potentially? Maybe
I believe it's part of Malaysia. Please forgive me if I am wrong, but this is the way my brain works anyways. I told you guys, bad ADHD week. Robin Peterman. Malaysia happens in one of the books is why that came from.
Oh, I was like,
or where that came from.
Where are you going with this?
One of the books, there's a scene that takes place in Malaysia.
Gotcha.
But, which now I'm wondering where in Malaysia, because like what if that is in Singapore?
I mean, I don't think that's true crime or paranormal, but it would be
no,
a book club option.
The temple, that whole book is paranormal. Robin Peterman, please.
First of all, Robin Peterman is phenomenal. She's an author. Her stuff that we find is mostly free on Audible.
Or you can at least get most of the series and have to buy like the last book or two.
Except for this one, that's all of them are paid for, which I really want to listen to, but I don't have enough credits. No.
Oh, that one's credits too.
That one's a credits, but it's brand new. No, there's like a whole like 7 or 8 book series, and it's like paid for, and I can't because I don't have that many credits. And I'm
out of credits. I'm waiting for my new one to pre-order.
Cannot commit to starting a book series that long with no free books with that many credits needed when I have 2 credits. I can't.
I have 0 credits. 0 credits right now. I wanted Jeanette
so what
McCurdy's
I hear is
book.
you made poor decisions.
No, I didn't make poor decisions. I got book 7 of the Good to the Last Death series by Robin Peterman.
It's so good. Her books are so addictive.
And
like,
I also got As the Underworld Turns.
Yes. I used to watch, well, no, I usually watch, I should say, shows of some sort while I eat. It's like a requirement ingrained in my brain since like birth. I don't know. They gave me a bottle, put me in front of a TV. It's a thing. So I have to watch something to eat. And I will literally let my food get cold trying to find a show. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. I'm aware. But anyway, I got to the point with Robin Peterman that I was listening to her books on full blast on like my phone with no headphones in, eating food. And my husband's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I mean, you're like eating dinner and the TV's off. Are you okay?" Yeah, this is a really good book. He's like, "You listen to it on a really fast speed, so I don't understand a damn thing they're saying. But I'm cool. Okay, bye."
My kids judged my Audible speed too. Like, I plugged in my phone to charge it, and it automatically started playing the book.
Yeah,
and I obviously had to pause it. Those are not kid-safe books. And
I wouldn't say that they're not. I mean, like, there are some very slight risque scenes.
Right.
But for the most part, they're not, like, raunchy. They're not 50 Shades
As
of
the
Grey
Underworld Turns is a lot, because I just re-listened to it because I haven't written
that's her newest one. That one yet. Yeah.
But I didn't know it was a spinoff of Good to the Last Death series.
Right.
And so I read that one, and then you had recommended to me before Good to the Last Death, so I went and started that, and then I like remembered or I recognized the names, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then like Robin Peterman posted a Facebook group that she created, and people in there were talking about like characters, and I was like, "It's a freaking spinoff." And I didn't know it was a spinoff, and so I went and re-listened. Now that I've caught up on Good to the Last Death, I re-listened to the As the Underworld Turns, and that one is much more inappropriate, but like in the best way possible.
Right.
With like the comments, and so it's really good. I highly recommend.
I listened to a book where the synopsis gave no dirty bits, none at all. And the whole book was like, good, really inappropriate. Good, super fucking inappropriate. What the fuck is going on here? Why are we talking about this? What does this have to do with anything? Oh, we're back to the regular stuff. Okay, but the synopsis didn't say it was a raunchy romance novel.
Man.
At all. And it blew my mind because I'm sitting there listening to it and I'm got it on in the car, and my kid's there. I'm like trying so hard to hit the pause button. It's not even fucking funny.
Oh, things will never work when you're trying to quickly turn it off.
No. Today I was trying to buy something at the gas station drive-thru, and I tried to hit the pause button on Billie Eilish, and somehow I was trying to fucking text my boss. I was like, "Why does my phone hate me?" And the poor girl at the window's like, "Can I help you?" I was like, "In a minute." Damn. And eventually I was just trying to like not have noise. She's like, "I literally could care less." I was like, "Well, I'm glad you don't, but I do."
Right.
Be a bitch. Just give me my stuff. Don't be hateful about it. Okay, thanks. I'll pay. Bye. So do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Does not matter to me.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Sure. Oh, we're twins. All right.
1, 2, 3. That's 3 fingers.
That's nothing. Okay.
My brain's broken. So basically, we both did the same thing twice. So fuck it, I'll go first because I don't have any more. I don't have any more pulls with my hand. I just whacked the shit out of it. All right, I did all my notes. Woo! Can throw that post-it note away. All right, so
believe it or not, we actually have notes trying to structure this shit.
No shit, right? I found the listicle. What? No,
Me too.
Because I'm doing 3 shallow-ish dives because there's too many options.
I know South Dakota's a really big state, but I always assumed.
I just figured it was a lot of like empty stuff like Montana.
Farmland. You want to know what I know about South Dakota is Philly Flare.
Oh,
and then
I didn't even know
down
that.
the list, Mount Rushmore.
That's where Mount Rushmore is? Listen, I slept through history class because it was boring. Yeah,
I told you, number
it.
one thing I know in South Dakota is Philly Flare, which is an online boutique. Everyone should go check it out. I get nothing from this. I just shop there.
Yeah. And if you want to shop at Mainstream Boutique of Shawnee, we have a discount code, GABB. It's usually at the end of the episode, but I'm throwing it out there now because, like, I literally shop there. Their 2-year anniversaries, the Friday this episode comes out. So go hit them up, get 10% off all full-priced items, and I digress. Into the show for the 18th time.
Right.
All right. So my first shallow dive. That sounds wrong, but whatever. My first intro to South Dakota will be a 3 named person, you know, because why not? Because all murderers have a full name, not just part of a name. Eric Donald Robert. Why does he have 3 first names?
You know, my 8th grade English teacher taught us never trust people with 2 first names, or where their last name can be a first name.
Well, I mean, that's pretty fucking accurate. In this case specifically.
Right.
I'm just reading straight from the websites because these cases are kind of obscure, so there wasn't a shit ton of research. I will be getting most of my stuff from onlyinyourstate.com for South Dakota famous homicides. All of this will be in the show notes. Murderpedia and Wikipedia are the main sources, only sources, whatever. All right, so Eric Donald Robert. Summary. On July 24th of 2005, while posing as a police officer, like an asshole, that's not in the website, but that's me, Robert pulled over an 18-year-old woman. He then forced her into the trunk of his car. After driving her to a very remote location, when they stop, he hears her talking, I'm assuming in the trunk, on her phone, which he's not smart enough to take, to somebody. In 2006, he was convicted and sentenced to 80 years imprisonment. Maintained in a high security at the South Dakota State Penitentiary after a lock is found cut in a working area, Robert and his accomplice, Rodney Burgett, attempted an escape after beating 62-year-old correctional officer Ronald or R.J. Johnson with a pipe and covering his head in plastic wrap, therefore killing him. Yeah, so they killed this guy who was a correctional officer. Then they took his uniform.
Posed as a police officer again?
Again, yes. They are spotted and captured before they can escape. Robert pled guilty and waived all of his appeals because he's not a complete dumbass, I guess. Mm-hmm. His accomplice also pled guilty and was sentenced to death. Sentencing.
Why did his accomplice get sentenced to death, but not him?
I don't know. Maybe they left that part out where maybe they both got death. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just like straight reading this because it's been a hell of a busy 2 weeks and your girl didn't have a lot of time to find a lot of things. So this is what I got. Accomplice Michael Normand received life sentencing for providing materials used in the slaying.
Yeah. Wait, the accomplice got life sentencing. So maybe he's the one that got sentenced.
There was 2 accomplices.
2 accomplices. Oh.
Yeah. Robert pled guilty. And then the Burgent guy, the Rodney Burgent, there we go. He got life, and then Michael Normand received life sentencing as well. Or the guy got death, and then Michael Normand received a life sentence for providing the materials used to murder that RJ guy. So all around, super fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But Murderpedia tells me their final or special meal, that's how they describe it. Robert fasted in the 40 hours before his execution for some fucking reason. And his last meal he consumed on a Saturday, Moose Tracks ice cream. 'Cause the fuck? Okay.
Interesting. Why fasting?
I don't know why you would fast to eat ice cream only unless you ate the entire half gallon, but okay, cool. His final words are, quote, "In the name of justice and liberty, liberty, in the name of justice and liberty and mercy, I authorize and forgive Warden Douglas Weber to execute me for my crimes. It is done."
Damn.
So there's that one. Super fucking not
Sounds like
cool.
he maybe really regretted his actions. Maybe that's why he starved himself, like as punishment or something.
I mean, that, or he really thought he couldn't eat ice cream without getting sick because he hadn't had it in so long. I don't know. My next sort of shallow dive, which is a little more intensive than the last one, is the murder of Chester Poag. P-O-A-G. Pog? I'm sorry, Chester. Chester Allen Poag was born on July 4th in 1980 in Norton County, Kansas. He grew up on a farm just outside of Norton, but him and his family moved to Rapid City, South Dakota in 94. In 96, his father committed suicide, which is super fucking sad, and I'm really sorry to hear that. Just days after his parents filed for divorce. The family moved back to Norton, but later lived in Spearfish, South Dakota. While he was at college prior to his death, he was attending Northwest Kansas Technical School and was half a year from graduating in communications technology. On the evening of March 12th of 2000, Piper, Page, and Hoadley met up with Poag and at his family home in Spearfish. The four of them were friends and had met up to play video games together. That sounds innocent enough, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Chester, his mother and his sister were in Florida on vacation at the time. So he was just home alone. The house was empty aside from him and his then friends. Later on, the four of them left the house and drove in his Chevrolet Blazer to the house where Paige, Piper, and Hoadley were staying. Once inside, Paige produced a .22 caliber pistol, which he had stolen from Chester's home, and he ordered Chester to get on the floor. The men planned to rob Chester's family home and did not want a witness to the crime. As he lay on the floor, he was kicked repeatedly by Piper until he was unconscious. He was then tied up with a cord and placed in a chair. Piper put a tire iron across his feet to prevent him from moving. I don't really see that. I mean, it would have to be a pretty big tire iron, or he'd have to be a really small person. In my head, that's how that makes sense. But anyways, when he regained consciousness, he pled with his attackers to let him go, but they refused. And instead, he was forced to drink beer containing crushed pills and hyaluronic acid. His ATM card was taken from him by Paige. The perpetrators then discussed their plan to murder him while they stood in front of him. That's messed up. He was forced into his own vehicle and was driven approximately 7 miles to Higgins Gulch, which was a remote wooden area in the Black Hills. He was ordered out of the vehicle and pushed into thick snow. He was stripped naked, apart from his undershirt, shoes, and socks. He was then escorted downhill towards a small icy creek. During the walk, he was beaten repeatedly as he was forced to lie down in the creek, where he was attacked again. As he lay in the creek, he was stabbed in the neck by Paige with a knife. The three men then decided it was time to kill him. Chase requested to be let into his vehicle so he could warm himself up. He said he preferred to bleed to death in the warmth rather than to freeze to death in the cold. I mean, fucking same. Piper agreed to the request if he washed the blood off of him first. He washed the blood off of himself, changed his mind, and he was violently dragged back to the creek. Or Piper changed his mind, and he was violently dragged back to the creek by the three men as they attempted to drown him. Paige later stated that he and Hoadley ended Chase's life by dropping several large rocks on his head. Piper basically said he did not take part in the drowning attempts or the stabbing. He argued that he had returned Chase to the vehicle as he was being, or he had returned to Chase's vehicle as he was being killed. According to Piper, Hoadley was the one that threw the final rock, which killed him. But at that point in time, Piper was not there to personally witness the murder.
Fucking splitting hairs.
They're just trying to get themselves out of trouble. However, Piper allegedly admitting to standing on his neck to assist Hoadley in drowning him, and then reportedly stabbed him twice because, enough's enough, but not enough, apparently. Both Paige and Hoadley admitted they were both dropped heavy rocks on his head, actions which they believed were the final reason he died. Hours after the beatings first began, he was left for dead in the creek in the early hours of March 13th. The men killed him because they did not want him to witness the murder or the robbery of his home, which is fucking stupid. I mean, robbery is going to get you
don't fucking
that too,
rob
but
people.
robbery is going to get you a lot less time than murder.
Exactly. I was gonna say, but second of all, if you're going to be a piece of shit asshole
just
and
do
rob
it
somebody,
and don't kill them.
Just do it at a time when they're not home instead of going with them, hanging out, and then being like, you know what, we want to rob you, but we don't want to witness. So we have to premeditate and very detailed, long, dragged out.
Yeah, we didn't do it. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. It's stupid. So after they murdered him, they drove from the scene in his vehicle, returned to his house, stole several items from his home. They claimed his vehicle as well as a stereo system and some clothes. They drove to to Piper's sister's house in Hannibal, Missouri, hoping that they could stay with her for a while. She refused, good for her, to let them stay with her, so they headed back to South Dakota. They traveled to Rapid City, where they used his ATM card, which they had stolen earlier, to withdraw cash, and also sold some of his property. The three men split up and went their separate ways. Piper deciding to return to the state of Alaska. A month later, April 22 of 2000, a woman came across the remains of Pogue in Higgins Gulch, and the forensic pathologist identified the remains and later confirmed the deceased man was Pogue, and it was determined that stab wounds and blunt force injury to the head was the cause of his death. On April 25th of 2000, police interviewed Hadley, and he gave a statement detailing his involvement in the murder, confessed to the crime, and gave the police the names of his accomplices. Piper and Paige fled the state. 3 days later, law enforcement arrested Paige in Texas. Piper was tracked down in Alaska and arrested for first-degree murder. Paige voluntarily described to the authorities the details surrounding Pogue's murder. Piper also gave a statement and described the torture and murder as well as his participation in the crime. Both men were subsequently taken back to South Dakota and jailed in Lawrence County. Paige and Piper later pled guilty and were convicted to first-degree felony murder. They were both sentenced to death, while Hadley, I can't remember how I said it earlier, sorry, received a life sentence. Paige was executed by lethal injection on July 11th of 2007 while Piper remains on death row. He is the only person on death row in South Dakota.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and Pogue is buried in Norton Cemetery in his hometown of Norton, Kansas, which is really sad. And that is my second shallow dive. My last case is of Josh Gilchrist. Josh Gilchrist is my last case. He was 16. He was a South Dakota boy. No,
South the boy.
He was a South Dakota. God bless America. This wine is not helping me tell the story. Okay, so there's that. He was a South Dakota boy or young man who used a sword to kill his mother, Betty Gilchrist, who was 49. He injured 3 other people in this incident, including his sister, a foreign exchange student, and a police officer. Yeah, because why not? Josh was shot and killed by the police soon after he struck one of the officers several times in Huron, South Dakota on January 26th of 2007. South Dakota police say that the teen likely killed his mom with the sword. We don't have any, it says, quote, we don't have any background on any events leading up to the assault this morning that would give any indication of a motive, he said. Yeah. So he just kind of went berserk one day and they don't know why. Officers were called to the family home on a Friday and found 14-year-old Rebecca Gilhurst with several cuts on her lower arms and hands. The officers spotted her brother, 16-year-old Josh Gilchrist, swinging a long sword, Schmidt said. He also said the boy struck one of the officers several times before other officers, they had to fire in self-defense, shooting him and then ultimately killing him. The police found the body of the boy's mother, who was 49, and her name was Betty, and an injured foreign exchange student as well. Police said that the boy's father, John Gilchrist, was not home during the attacks, but in East Central South Dakota. So, yeah, those are my, very small deep dives, but it was a medieval sword, if that gives anybody any kind of indication of, what he was handling. I wish there was a little bit
more information. Was he angrily, was he, attacking, or was he just oh, I'm swinging a sword?
I don't know. It didn't really say, and, from what I understand, the police officer, the injured officer, Dan Knight, was 34. He was treated and released. So that's good. 4 officers were placed on administrative leave pending an investigation, because they had to fire a gun.
Right, yeah.
The mother, Betty, was a former teacher at a Minnesotan high school in Southwest Minnesota. She was a children's librarian at the Huron Public Library. And both his parents, Josh and Rebecca, were members of the Huron High School band and orchestra. They believed that Josh Gilchrist was a collector of swords. And, it doesn't really give any explanation as to why he did it.
That's awful.
But it's fucked up. Lord have mercy.
Definitely fucked up.
This is why maybe people should not have, legitimate, replica swords that can cut people. Just the thought. We are not in the Middle Ages anymore. We do not need sabers, in my opinion.
Man, that just... wow.
But those are my shallow dives into the dirt. Literally. So, Lindsey, what kind of spooky shit from South Dakota do you have for me today?
All right. So, I go into this because we already have established we did not know shit about South Dakota. No. And I'm usually...
I've never been there, so I really don't know anything.
Right. I always go into these with, South Dakota hauntings or, whatever. And I'm sitting here... I'm coming across a couple listicles that explain some things, And then I found a listicle that I'll be reading from today that's all one town. There's one town in South Dakota that is haunted. I mean, there might be more than one, but this one in particular.
Uber haunted.
Yeah. And it's called Deadwood, which apparently there's a show called Deadwood on HBO about this place, but I've never heard of it.
There's too many TV shows for me to keep up with everything.
Right? But, and also, before I even get into it, you're going to love this because I love it and I have to go to South Dakota now, other than to go to Philly Flair, is Deadwood hosts a festival every October called Dead Weird. That is like fun. A Halloween festival.
I mean, I did get married in October, so I have really all kinds of reasons to leave the state for my anniversary.
Right? So Dead Weird this year takes place Friday, October 28th and Saturday, October 29th.
Nice.
It looks like it's always around that last weekend of the month.
Nice.
And it says, head to Deadwood to the annual Dead Weird celebration. It's how Deadwood does Halloween. Make plans for the annual Monster Ball on Friday with a live band, dancing, and prizes, and the annual costume contest with more than $10,000 in cash prizes for the best costumes on Saturday. Both of these events are free.
Oh my gosh.
So now come in costume or just come to watch. Must be 21 to participate. I'm there. I wish.
Hold on. Wait, they get rid of the kids and you get to play dress up and you could win money? I'm all about it.
I wish South Dakota wasn't so far away. Yeah, no I would be there.
I know.
But they do it every year. So 1 year, like, we've got to go. We've got to.
Like, that just sounds South Dakota, yeah.
That sounds amazing. But so yeah, that's what really drew me into this. I was like, okay, like I have to cover this place.
Of course.
Right? So this information, including what I just read, is from travelsouthdakota.com.
Ooh.
And this says, whether you're familiar with its Wild West history or the award-winning HBO show, which never heard of it.
Although you know what is on HBO? The Nanny. So there's that.
I've been binging The Nanny since you told me that. Oh my god, I love that show so much and always have.
Stupid, it's so great.
Oh, I've missed that show. You told me that like immediately as soon as we were off the phone. That's all I did that day.
Mr. Sheffield. Oh my gosh. Like, I love it so much.
I love her. And her fashion is really back in style.
I know, it's really problematic.
But it makes me kind of love it. I'm not going to lie.
I know.
But anyways. Deadwood. Deadwood's rich history has created many a legend. Some of those include residents whose spirits are rumored to remain. Check out this list for some of the most popular ghost stories in Deadwood, which that also implies that there's more ghost stories than what I'm about to tell you guys.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Which makes me want to go all the more.
Yes.
First up is the Bullock Hotel. Is that Bullock? Bullock? Bullock.
Isn't that how Sandra Bullock spells her last name? So I'm just gonna.
Oh my god, Bullock.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So the Bullock Hotel. When the topic of haunted South Dakota comes up, the Bullock Hotel is often the first place mentioned, which that did pop up on a lot of my research before I found out that this entire fucking town is haunted. Right. Seth Bullock came to Deadwood to build a hardware store, but ended up the sheriff.
I shot the sheriff.
Which is like the most Wild West thing.
Yeah, I mean, right? If it's not a brothel, you're obviously either like a cowboy.
There's a brothel museum there too. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I saw that in all of this. Not on the haunted list,
want
but
like
just
an old like Hollywood rich like widow robe. I want one so desperately.
Yes.
I don't have a fucking use for it, but I need it in my life.
To storm down the stairs to be questioned by the police after your
I have stairs. You're right. I could totally do that.
Okay, so he ended up the sheriff.
Come to my house.
He ended up a sheriff, a U.S. Marshal, and legislator before his death in 1919. But some say that it hasn't stopped him from keeping an eye on his hotel. But he came to build a hardware store, but he built a hotel?
Hey, maybe it was both. Get your hammers and
There's more. So maybe...
Wait, there's more.
Everyone from residents to authors claim that Bullock's ghost is still active in the building, but his intentions don't seem to be malicious. Sure, he can be a bit of a prankster, moving chairs and other objects until a brave employee tells him to stop. Why would you tell him to stop? Well, I guess if you're trying to, like, set up the dining room. But he seems he mostly just wants his employees working hard and his patrons happy. I love that. A ghost runs this hotel.
I want a ghost that fucks with Karens. And what are they
right,
called?
Like when somebody starts getting rude with the staff, Mr. Bullock over here comes and just knocks a chair out from under them and says, "Leave."
Yes, or something. It would be phenomenal. I need that in my life. Show me it on TikTok. I manifest this into existence.
This includes the famous story of parents that couldn't find their young son. After frantically searching the hotel, they returned to their room and found the boy happy and healthy. He told them, I have chills before I've even finished it because I saw the ending.
Okay, because all I know is, like, they can't find their kid and that freaks me out.
Right? He told them he'd left to go get a soda, got lost, but a nice man helped him find his room. When the family went to check out the next morning, the boy identified the man by pointing at a portrait of Bullock.
Nope, don't like that.
I have chills. But, like,
I
have to stay there now.
I mean, no, because, like, what if he takes your kid?
No, the kid got lost. He saved the kid.
What if he lowers them?
He was a sheriff and a U.S. Marshal and legislator who built a hardware store.
That's now fucking attic and be like, look what's up here, guys. I don't know. It's skeevy and it's weird and I don't like it.
So if you stay at that hotel, the Bullock Hotel in Deadwood, you can take the hotel's ghost tour for only $10. I'm there when we go to Deadwood. Right.
That's so cheap.
When we go to Deadwood, we're gonna be staying at this hotel and taking that ghost tour. I'm putting it out in the universe so that way one day it will happen.
I mean, no shit. That'd be cool.
So the next location is the Fairmont Hotel and the Oyster Bay Bar, which I keep wanting to read it as Oyster Bay Bay. Because it's Bay Bar.
Yeah.
When Ron Russo bought the Fairmont Hotel and the Oyster Bay Bar in 1990, previous owners hinted that he might not be comfortable inside the building. Quote, they said they would never tell me what they'd seen over the years, Russo said. That didn't deter Russo, nor did the paranormal experience he'd go on to experience. Even his assertion that the ghost of an angry man directly caused his heart attack. See, we're not going to that hotel.
No,
Mr. Bullock's over here running that place like a fine-oiled machine.
Bebe's bar and hotel can stay where it's at. I'm good.
Yeah, I ain't trying to have a heart attack on my visit to Deadwood.
Listen, I already had a heat stroke. I'm good.
So today, visitors can hear Russo's amazing stories while taking a ghost tour on the building's second floor. Be prepared to run into the spirit of a heartbroken cowboy or a despondent working girl.
It sounds like heartbroken cowboy, brothel lady. I mean, like, it sounds like a country song.
Right?
Like,
but yeah, I don't want to go to that hotel.
Fancy by
an angry
McIntyre.
Mr. Bullock would set that angry ghost straight.
Yes.
I'm convinced.
That's why they don't have the same building.
Mm-hmm. Here's another hotel in Deadwood that is haunted. The Silverado Franklin Hotel and Gaming Complex. The Franklin Hotel is a beautiful restored hotel that has one of Deadwood's best restaurants in the basement. But was it in a basement? The look of the place is so pleasing, in fact, that early investor Harris Franklin still likes to check in on his namesake. Some have claimed Franklin sometimes appears to make sure employees are doing their job. So he's up there with Mr. Bullock.
So he's like hustling in the afterlife. Hey-o. Wait,
now,
no. Does that mean if we die, we still have to work? Fuck that.
Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense.
Right. No, thank you.
Right. Now we're moving away from hotels and we are getting right into the Wild West with a saloon. Saloon number 10 is what it is called. So as you walk through the front door, turn around, look up, there it is. The chair that Wild Bill was allegedly sitting in when he died.
Oh, damn.
There's also a two-headed calf named Double Cheeseburger.
That's fucked up. Double delicious, double the fun.
Says both are believed to be real. That should prepare you for an adventure at Saloon number 10, the only museum in the world with a bar, is what it's called. Like, that's its tagline.
I'm sure there's other museums with bars, but that's kind of fun.
So some believe that the patrons had so much fun that they stuck around after death. As a result, you might hear ghostly voices or even a piano playing itself. Double cheeseburger, on the other hand, seems to be at peace. That's good. You're just sitting there, it's like late at night, closing up the bar, and you hear like a harmonized, like, like at the same time, while the piano's going. But yeah, that is apparently where Wild Bill was killed back in the Wild West days.
Fun fact about Oklahoma, we had a lot of outlaws here. And we have, like, Robbers Cave, which we went to, like, every year when I lived in Eufaula for field trips. And it's literally where the outlaws hid out when they, like, robbed banks and shit.
You know, I did see, just a sidebar, this is not in Deadwood, but I did see there is a, I don't remember what it was called now, but someplace in South Dakota where allegedly Jesse James did, like, this huge jump on horseback across, like, this gulch. Gulch, is that the right word?
Yeah, that's like
to get away from
big
the
old
police
stream or whatever. Yeah.
So apparently, like, that's one of the haunted places, but it's not haunted by Jesse James. It's haunted by some other people that died there. Yeah. But so yeah, Wild West. It's wild. So now we move on to the Adams house. W.E. Adams was a prominent civic leader in Deadwood when he died on June 16th, 1937. After that, his distraught wife closed up the house and moved to California. Why? Mary confided in friends that the house was haunted. Some disbelievers thought it was just a clever ruse to keep the vandals out, which it did, but others have experienced things that cannot be explained. The Adams house is alleged to be the site of numerous paranormal events, including moved objects, mysterious voices, and what could be the ghost of Adams himself pacing on the second floor.
Dun, dun, dun.
On another website that I think I have in my sources that'll be in the show notes is that one of the things is that they thought that Mrs. Adams moved because she was going crazy hearing her husband's ghost.
Oh, fun.
But so you can apparently tour the Adams house, and there's a paranormal investigation held a couple of times every October.
Nice.
And then last one is the Wild Bill Bar and Trading Post. All it takes is one look of the historic sign to see that this was the approximate location where Wild Bill Hickok was shot on August. Wait, I thought
he died.
I thought he was sitting in the poker chair.
Maybe it was both. Maybe he drug his ass over to this other place.
He was playing poker. He got shot, got up, ran out because this town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Right.
Showdown at high noon.
I mean, some shit.
And that is how Bullock became sheriff. No, I'm joking. I don't think the years line up. I don't know. Probably anyways, also, he was on, well, Wild Bill Hickok was not a sheriff. But I digress. Just pulling out all the stereotypes of the Wild West. So he was apparently shot here, allegedly, one of the many places. While the venue of the historical murder, the old style saloon number 10.
Did you reading the same shit over again? On accident?
No. While the venue of the historical murder, the old style saloon number 10, burned down along with much of Deadwood 3 years later.
Okay.
But we just read how you can visit saloon number 10.
Or can you? Dun, dun, dun. Maybe you could, and then now it's gone. So now they built another building that you can go visit with shit that doesn't exist anymore.
Maybe like that's like a
we
recreated
built a replica chair
that
he sat in.
South Dakota, you got some explaining to do. Because I'm very confused by that. Sorry for that jumbled mess. We should have just ended on Mr. Adams driving his wife crazy.
We didn't make the listicle.
But yeah, I really want to go to this place.
The mystical listicle, we didn't make that shit. We just read it.
The listicle ends because they always have like hyperlinks to other listicles, and it says looking for more spooky fun, check out this list of South Dakota's best haunted outdoor places. So y'all are just all haunted. I mean, I already talked about the Jesse James place that's not haunted by Jesse James.
I mean, like, we already got Appalachia. We don't need any more like Bigfoots, SWs, or anything else. Like, we good. Aliens, we good. Speaking of SWs, I went to a friend's house like last weekend.
Why are we ever speaking of SWs?
Because he told me he saw one.
Who?
Jesse. Yeah, he was like, "Hey, You know those things we can't talk about? And I was like, lots of things. I don't know. Be more.
Did he do the?
He goes SW, and I go. Pointed at my arm, and I did the walking motion. And he goes.
That's what I did to Fairy Tale Fix. They didn't get it.
And he goes right, and I go. Flesh pedestrians. He goes. That sounds dirty, and I was like, shut up.
Thanks, TikTok.
And he goes. Right. Well, I saw one the other day, and I was like,
oh, no, the other day.
I don't need to hear any more about
That's way too recent.
Like, I don't need to know. Because if I know, then I'm going to fucking see it too. I'm good. He's like, don't you want to know where? I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
If you heard something, no, you didn't. If you saw something, no, you didn't.
And if it said your name, no, it didn't. But I did hear a tickety-tockety where this lady said Mercury was in Powerade, and it made me laugh really hard, so I'll leave you with that. Or Gatorade, I don't know. It was fucking hilarious. It made me laugh too hard.
I have a random announcement.
Okay.
I got an email the other day, and I had forgotten about it, and I haven't had a chance to play around with it. I think I was just thinking about things to wrap up. I don't know. Oh. I told you my ADHD's been like really, really bad this week. But anyways, our merch shop now sells joggers.
What?
And I got on because I was like, oh, well, I have to make some of our designs available with joggers.
I mean, yeah.
And it auto did some of them, but because it auto did it.
Did they look really funny in the crotch
A little
area?
bit. So I'm going to play around and try to come up with an actual design.
Yeah,
that
so there's
I have some
like
ideas and we'll discuss it.
Like the pocket of the like
oh my God.
Pocket of the crotch. That'd be hilarious, by the way.
I'm not sure of the printable area on them, but we'll have to play around with
Legs
it.
only, please.
Right. We don't need like some LuLaRoe shit where you've got fireworks coming out of your crotch or whatever else ugly ass.
Or something weird. I don't need that. Also, Lula's stupid is just granimals for adults.
Mm-hmm. All MLMs are stupid, and you all can fight me on
Except for Tupperware. I own a lot of Tupperware, but they're not stupid. They're historic.
But I feel like they had their day.
They did, but they
because I ordered stuff a few years ago before I got into like the anti-MLM stuff, and
they still have
it fucking broke.
Yeah. Oh, did it? Oh, mine still.
Yeah, broke. And I've never had an issue. I literally shit from like the 80s.
I literally signed up to sell Tupperware just so I could get a fucking huge discount. I didn't sell anything to anybody.
I'd rather have Pyrex.
Pyrex is glass, though.
Which, I mean, yeah, that's hard for traveling and shit, but I love my little... I want to buy more. I haven't been to Target lately, but last year, this time of year...
I have, like, the Tupperware sugar containers and, like, all the...
See, like, I grew up with Tupperware in the house growing up in the 90s.
I had a big...
I just don't think it's the same.
Tupperware wasn't real. And I was like, I'm sorry, yes, it is.
And at the end of the day...
She goes, no, it's just what you call your storage containers. It's what you call
I got a text from Philly Flair, speaking of South Dakota. Just saying that they're alive.
I was like, no, and her name started with an M, and she was a real bitch. But I digress. Most military wives are. Hate to break it to you. Anyone's I've met, by the way.
Except for us. The two of us.
No, I can be a real bitch. You just have to push me to that point. But she told me that Tupperware was not a brand. It's just what everyone called containers. I said, hold on, wait a minute. So I went and got 3 different containers out of my cabinet. Pyrex, plastic. Rubbermaid, plastic. And Tupperware, plastic containers. I go, read these. She goes, I don't understand what the assignment is. I was like, the assignment is to see if you're stupid or not, because that's a brand. That's a brand. Do you not understand branding? She goes, are you trying to make me feel like an idiot? I was like, I mean, if you are, you are. It's not my fault to assign it. I mean, that's your problem. It's a real thing. It's not just like a made up word. It's a real fucking thing from like the 1940s.
Right. It's been around forever.
I didn't create it. I grew up with it. Period. And she goes, you're a liar. I was like, you're literally holding it. How am I lying?
Google. Just Google it.
Google it. Tupperware parties. It's a thing. It's a thing. Rubbermaid containers are Rubbermaid containers. You know what they all are called? Storage containers.
Or leftover containers.
Leftover containers. But they are not called Tupperware containers because Tupperware containers are a fucking brand. It really bothers me.
But I will end on the note that...
my little high horse.
I'll end on 2 notes. One, the structure of MLMs is a fucking scam. I don't care who you are, what you sell, whatever. I will fight every single one of you.
Pyramids are built, but they should only reside in Egypt.
And 2, once I get a design figured out for the joggers, I'll post it.
No, but like really, if you want to know any more about LuLaRoe, they have like a whole like Amazon Prime.
Yes, the Amazon Prime documentary Lula Rich is really, really good, and Roberta Blevins, who I absolutely love,
really, really funny. I mean, really,
she's great on TikTok. She has a podcast now called Life After MLMs. Really great stuff. Go check her out, Roberta Blevins. I don't know her personally, but I fucking love her.
Also, Amway is a scam.
They're all pieces of shit. Scentsy. I hate to say it. I mean, there's better wax melts out there, better candles.
Yeah, like anybody can do anything.
Pharmacy, makeup.
If you have to pay to play, you're fucking yourself.
And before the argument gets made of, well, you have to buy clothes and non-slip shoes. No,
hear me.
No, it's not the same.
You have to spend money to make money. That's a whole different thing. Because me and Lindsey have made no money. No, let's be very fucking clear. No fucking money on this podcast.
Pennies.
We do it because we love you, not because we get paid to do it. And by the way, if we ever get paid to do it, we won't do it because we're paid to do it.
And we're writers. Y'all know we're starving artists.
Oh my God. I'm starving and I have a full-time job.
Also, I just want to say, because we got on this high horse about MLMs or whatever, you got to realize we are speaking from personal experience. It's not, I'm sorry you had a bad experience.
No, we both sold them. We learned from our stupid mistakes.
We both sold them. We've both been customers with other people selling them. We both have done research. Listen to the Dream podcast. I don't know who the host of that one is, but season 1 is all about MLMs, and that is a very objective point of view.
Like, listen, do your research, be a smart consumer. Don't listen to us. Listen to us. Who gives a fuck? I mean, you're here. We don't make you show up every week.
But I will tell you, if you come at me trying to sell me anything,
oh my gosh, it's down. Like.
But if you want to buy our merch,
traumatic
it's not
things
MLM.
happen, and then you get mad at me because I don't buy your shit. What? I had that happen to me personally. It's really shitty.
Personally, yeah, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, it's not cool. Not naming names because we're not assholes.
Oh, absolutely not. And that's the thing too. Okay, like we kind of reeling it into on topic.
There's this Billie Eilish song that talks about, like, I never talked about you on the internet. That shit's embarrassing. Yeah, that's a real thing. My soul.
But I was going to say...
sing it.
I was going to say, because you were saying we're not naming names or whatever.
No.
An important thing to realize with all MLMs, which kind of brings it back to a true crime podcast, is there's cult mentality. And, like, there have been studies that show it. Like, legitimately, like, look up the bite method. MLMs use cult tactics to draw you in. So we sound like haters to you all who sell shit, but it is cult mentality.
For you.
And it is criminal. The people in MLMs, like the low down bottom of the pyramid people, are victims of this business structure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the long and the short of it is, do what makes you happy. Fuck us and our opinions. This is Ghosts in the Axe, Bodies in the Basement. And as always, stay spooky, listeners. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Ghosts in the Attic, Bodies in the Basement, a Fearscape Media podcast. Music by Stephen Timperley. Artwork by Laura Ramsey. Find us online at fearscapemedia.com/GABB podcast. Or on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at GABB podcast. Or email us gabbpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.